Thank you very much, Prof. And good afternoon, everyone. I am so honored to be here. And being the guinea pig for 10 minutes, I'll try to, to do some justice. And if I exceed, feel free to stop me. My name is Kimaren or Riamit. And since morning, it's been quite a very enriching exchange for me. Professor Marcelo mentioned the journey, continental journey of the climate summit, all the way and mentioned Nairobi. And I want to bring a story from the outskirts of Nairobi, the savannas, the pastoralist savannas in East Africa. He also mentioned about resilience not being resistant, but willingness to transform, to adapt. Professor Taxon mentioned about this being the need to bring the human face and not just at data and figures about the people, the human face. And I'm glad, as Indigenous people, we are here. It's the highest concentration of professors, the highest sitting of professors I've ever been into. So this, yes, please. And this actually speaks to how radical, hopefully, we are in these conversations, bringing this into exchange of this knowledge system. Professor Esther mentioned about the difference or the dimensions of experiential knowledge vis-a-vis experimental knowledge. And hopefully my presentation will shed some little light on experiential knowledge from a pastoralist perspective. And Michelle mentioned about place-based knowledge. Grounded knowledge and index knowledge. So again, a pastoral landscape place of this knowledge is what I hope to shed light on. And all this to say that even if we closed here, I'm already very much enriched. And Dr. Sharif mentioned together with Manuel that nature has a soul, a memory, and that it speaks to us if we care to listen, and that all life is connected. This inspiration speak really to my presentation. And my hope is that I will show the resonance between the presentation that went in the morning and what I want to share. And I'm struggling whether I should pause or speak. But anyway, the photo there is my village, Pastoral Maasai village. In talking about our common home, this is my village, part of the common home we are talking about. And the knowledge practiced by this community is on this savanna rangeland. Yes, people of the land and the sky. So when the land is messed up, when the climate system is messed up, our lives is actually messed up because we are people of the land, and most Indigenous people are. And just to tell you how big this agenda is or how serious we should take, Indigenous people in Africa in half of the continent's countries, 26 countries, have people who self-identify as Indigenous. And there are about 21 million of them, according to IGIA's report of 2008. Pastoralists, hunter-gatherers, people of the forest, horses, cultures, these people are people of the land, and their knowledge system is based on their landscapes and ecosystems. Because of that, they are in the front line of negative impacts of climate change. And therefore, adaptation is a daily rhythm of life because of these pressures. Water, livestock collapsing, flooding like the lakes in the Rift Valley. You have climate refugees in Baringo, pastoralists there. Conflicts generated, and so on and so forth. So they are, if they can't adapt, they should not be here. That we are here to speak to you is testimony to our resilience and adaptation and how our adaptation strategies actually work. This slide is to show that these communities have faced multiple exclusion and marginalization from colonial time to their independence government. Whether it's their traditional occupation, their knowledge systems, they are in the periphery of state services and development. And so to be here again is resilience and adaptation. Their knowledge, as has been alluded before, is really knowledge accumulated intergenerationally. Centuries of observation and experiencing their landscape. And therefore they innovate, they generate practices and technology that has made them who they are. And this knowledge is integrated. It's knowledge for healthcare, knowledge for clothing, knowledge for food security. It's knowledge for cultural identity. A minute's over. So we are not just victims of these things. We are agents of change, part of the solution. In fact, in talking about nature-based solutions, indigenous people represent the future, not the past, that we need to learn from. So again, if you look at these photos, these are young warriors. We have an age set system. Every 7 years, a new age set is established, and nature is part of our cultural identity. And because of that, we manage and conserve nature for generation. So just some slight attributes, some highlights. Reciprocity is foundational. We belong to a whole. Reciprocity to ourselves as people, reciprocity to nature. And that, like it was said by Manuel, we see nature as all forms of lives are connected and interdependent. Our adaptation strategies are land-based. Land is both a resource, but also where we exercise our technology. And just to highlight, our adaptation is founded on some principles and values. Here are some Maasai proverbs that speak to the principles and values that inform our adaptation. Midutia bosotua, like don't hold back the last goat if it's about friendship. Give it up to friendship, even if it's the last. And that's how we belong to this community. And you can share the piece of the hoof. We cook until the hooves of our cows. So even that one, and Agnes is laughing because she understands his Maasai too. Your skin of your goat is not enough to cover your nudity always. You need someone else. The cows say, develop as much strategies as you can to keep me alive. So we strategize, we plan, we adapt. The wisdom, there was this idea about the youth not being observers or beneficiaries, but co-authors of change. And the Maasai say, wisdom is not in gray hair only. Even the youth can get inspired, innovate, and be part of the solution. In reciprocity with nature, we have a clan totem system where we see ourselves in nature. There's a clan of the buffalo, the clan of the rhino. So you don't kill your brothers and sisters. And that is why the highest biodiversity concentration of the largest mammals are in Maasai pastoral land, because we don't kill our relatives. Nature in culture. Every rite of passage has a plant symbolism. So we must keep the plant to keep our cultural identity. We don't eat game meat again. This is why the gazelles, the zebras, the elands are in our lands, because so long as you have a cow, it's taboo to eat game meat. Conversation with nature. When we harvest a branch of a tree to make a fire through friction, when you're starting a new home, because you don't borrow fire from another home, because you are borrowing a spirit of that home. When you establish a new home, you light a new fire through friction, and you talk to the tree. Give me fire, I save you, you establish my home. And that way, and we speak, the honey guides, we speak and exchange, and it guides you to honey. It eats engorged bee, we eat the honey. And much more. Time will not allow me to elaborate. So, is time up? Okay. I haven't had the bell. So, Yes, and this knowledge is very, very deep and rich. We will need a whole course to talk about it. So in weather forecasting, I had somebody here is a planetary observer. We observe planets, the stars and the moon, and can tell the season. Biophysical observation, plant behavior, flowering, the mowing of certain animals, we can tell. I think it was Esther who was talking about the ants and all this. Very rich. We read the intestines, and science has come to confirm, again, belatedly. All right, there goes a bell. Anyway, I have quite a bit of slides, and I will share, but so land is a canvas within which we sketch our adaptation. If land tenure security is not guaranteed, so it's a canvas, and it's a store, the library of knowledge. When land rights is threatened, our adaptation is at risk. Governance, decision-making arrangement, the institutions that support these systems are critical, rarely recognized in the bureaucracy of the state and market actors. These institutions is the one that has the values that keeps this adaptation working. And policy enablers. Yes, more finance, flexible finance with these communities. Co-generation of this knowledge. Privilege, locally led adaptation. Someone mentioned that resilience must come from below up. And it's true, human rights. And I should thank you for listening to me. Thank you very much.